Hi everyone, my name is Miss Cannon. I'm your instructor for Real Number Systems. I want to give you a brief overview of the class to kind of ease your mind as you start this online class because sometimes it's a little overwhelming. So this is the front page of our class. You have my name, obviously. Sorry, my words aren't coming out. You have my name and email address and contact information. You have office hours. This, of course, is where you're going to see that welcome message. And you have a Start Class Here button. Now, if you hit Start Class Here, it's going to direct you to Modules, or you can click over here on the Modules tab. The first thing you see in Modules is this huge orientation module, and that's what the school puts in there. That's not actually mine. So if you want to read through it, you're welcome to, but none of that will be tested. It's just kind of acclimating you to Canvas and getting you started. If you don't want to do the orientation module, you don't have to. So where my class actually starts here is in course information. If you click this top button right here, if you click this button here, it's going to give you the syllabus and the course outline. It's going to tell you when your exams will be. It will tell you how to register for the Mymathlab software. It gives you basically the overall reports of the class. If you do need help registering for the Mymathlab software, you can click right here, and that file is going to step you through how to do so. And then right here you have a calendar. Now this calendar is a little bit out of date, but if you click right there on your calendar when the class does come up, I use that as a checkoff. So that way when you complete the first module where it says Lesson 1 module, you can put a little check beside it that you have checked it. Now it's not current because it's not your semester, but I do want to bring it up for you where you can just see what I'm talking about. So if you look at this one, see how it says Getting Started module? Some of you are in a full term and some of you are in a mini term, so you may have more than one assignment per week. But this class right here, this particular semester, the first week they had a Getting Started quiz and they had a discussion board. So as soon as you do those, what I would do, if I was a student in this class, I would say, oh, I took care of this one, and I would mark that off, and then I would know I'd be ready to go to the second one. Now, if you have a mini term, you're going to have more assignments in that per week, but that's what I would do, and I think that calendar is a really useful tool in the course. Okay, so the next thing that you have is, well, let me fix it. The next thing that you have that we're going to look over is the Lesson 1 lecture material. And so it says, before we get started, I would like for you to introduce your class using a discussion board. So you'll click on this link right here to go to a discussion board. It's really easy to do. I already did a discussion there where you can just copy mine if you want to see what to expect. Now this next part is what in education, as when you get into the real world of education, you know there's a lot of busy work that people make you do, and this is part of that busy work. So these student learning outcomes that you see at the top are the ones that are covered from the syllabus, and so this module will cover those objectives from the syllabus. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do in this section is I'm going to ask you to solve problems. So you've got Poya's 4 principles, you've got solving problems by making lists, and so that's kind of what we're going to do in this lesson. But the real part of the lesson comes down here. So there are a couple of things that I wanted you to look through in the textbook, and that's section 1.2 and section 1.6, and that's all your definition type things that I'll ask you. And then here's your real lecture material here. So if you click on this document right here, hopefully it'll pop up quickly. Let's try it again. Okay, so if you click on this one, these are the problems that I'm going to cover in the lesson. So if you wanted to print that out where you'll have a blank copy of it and you can just write in, you can do that. So that's how that part will look. Some of you don't like to write while you listen, and so you also have this one, this file here. Okay, and so that's the lecture problems already written out. Some of you may not need the videos. You can just look at my work and see how to work them. But if you look at this one, you see there's problem 2, there's how I worked it. There's problem 3, there's how I worked it, and so forth. Now, of you are going to need that worked out. And so what you can do to see it worked out is if you click on this part 1, you may not need all of them. Just click on the ones that you need. So I don't know if you can hear it because my technology skills are a little off, but if you can listen to this one, you'll see I actually, hopefully you can see, you can actually see it being worked out. So you'll be able to see and hear it being worked out. Let's see if I can exit that. Okay, so for this particular one, you're going to have blank. You're going to have blank notes, you're going to have completed notes, and then you're going to have videos that go with every problem that you see. Okay, now you do not have to watch those videos. If you can do it without the videos, that's great. But if you need the videos, feel free to watch them. You can also pause them and watch them over and over should you need them. Oops, let me over here. Okay, now in here, you're also going to have a link. It's not here yet, but you're going to have a link to the Mymathlab homework. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to that for you. Now I'm going to put the link in there so you won't have to get out of there like I did. And yours is going to pop up a little easier than this. But this particular section is section 1.1. Let's hope it's open. It is. And so what you'll see is you've got this problem right here, and then you can work it. I worked one just like it in the lecture, but if you needed help on it, you could click on this button that says Help Me Solve This. You can also click on View an Example, and you can also click on the textbook there if you wanted to. So you have those tools in there. Let's say you missed it. It doesn't usually let me work it, but let's say you missed it. If you missed this one, it's going to give you a little red check on there, and so you get to work these as many times as you want. And if you happen to miss one, if you click on similar exercise, it'll give you another one and another chance to get those points back. And so you can work on this all the way up until the due date. There will be a due date, but all the way up until the due date you can work on the homework. And the other thing about the homework is you can get a perfect score. You can work it as many times by hitting similar exercise. You can work it as many times as you need until you get it right. Okay, so going back to where we were in the Lesson 1 lecture material. Okay, so again, starting back over, I want you to complete this discussion board. Then you have all the busy work, all the background information about education classes, with objectives and all that stuff. There's the things you need for the textbook, just giving you an idea. I think I asked you this question as a little question in your quiz this week. Then you have your lecture material with your blank notes, your completed notes, and your videos. And then you have your quiz. Now the quiz is the most important part because your quiz is what's counting for attendance for you. For your quiz, you have 2 attempts. So if you don't do well the first time, you'll be able to write those problems down and try it a second time. I'll give you an idea of how it looks. So like this is your first one, POYA's 4-step process. What's the second principle? So that's a little short answer there. I ask you to solve the problem. That's one that I worked in class, of course, with different numbers. Another one I worked in class with different numbers. And so that's what you see with these, is it's going to be exactly like the ones I worked out, so they won't catch you by surprise. Hey, so if you have any questions at all or you need any help, please don't hesitate to call me. I'm glad to help you. I'm glad to have you in my class this semester. And if I can help you, please let me know. Have a great semester.